HIV and its connection to the Harlem community has changed over time. It's a very different world. And it's not gone. HIV remains very much a part of the fabric of the community. And the next challenge is how to prevent new infections, particularly amongst men who have sex with men. Also, women of color are still getting infected. So I think those are the two populations that we have to make progress in trying to prevent new infections in them. Research has a lot of benefits. Research enables the community to have a say in terms of what's coming next, in terms of the new discoveries. And also research in a community setting allows the findings to become very relevant to that specific community. So for us, it's been a very important part of ICAP's mission.
It is pretty amazing that we can do the kind of cutting-edge research that we're able to do in that setting. And again, I just feel that, you know, we're surrounded by a community that really needs more options.
And also we have new discoveries as well. And one of the new discoveries is the use of what's called PrEP, which is pre-exposure prophylaxis. And that simply means that a person who's at risk for getting HIV infected, who doesn't have HIV infection, can prevent getting infected by taking a pill.
HIV goes unspoken about, unheard of in the community. It's something that people rather ignore than face. My hope is that we can dispense knowledge to the community in a way that alleviates some of the fear, that makes it okay to talk openly about what it's like to be positive. And the work we do here, it's about creating an environment that allows for open discussion.
So one of the important things that we are doing is always assessing if we're reaching the people that we most need to reach in the study. But this fourth map is really the most important one for me because it shows where people are dying from HIV-related disease. And so what that means to us is those are people who are not in care, and they may not even be diagnosed. Here in Harlem, we bring state-of-the-art, really, HIV prevention and care to populations that are most deeply impacted.
I feel like I'm kind of known in this community, so the guys see me on the street, so they just automatically say, Robert, what's going on at the research center? Can I be a part of it? We like known in this area.
Harlem Prevention Center, good morning, this is Robert, Star Study, how may I help you today? Okay, Matthew, my name is Robert, this is Harlem Prevention Center. Have you ever been tested for HIV? Okay, Matthew, it appears you are eligible to take part in the STAR study, sir. So there you have it in a nutshell. We had a potential client call in, and he's actually eligible. He's a young African-American MSM, and he's really interested in the study. So he'll be here Thursday morning for his appointment, and he seemed kind of nervous because he actually confided in me that he'd been having unprotected anal sex for the last week. So he's very much nervous. So we had to comfort him on Thursday, and you know, hopefully everything gonna be okay with his blood work.
Really about facilitating access to HIV prevention services, which certainly exist in New York City, but sometimes are not where the people are who need them the most.
I came from Beaufort, Georgia, where not only did I think I was the only gay person, but I also felt like that ostracized me a lot. I just felt like it was very important to give back to my community any way that I could, seeing that it is an issue that affects us all. And Brothers really brought it home for me by basically only statisticizing really what was going on in my community. It is a smaller community, being African American or other minority ethnicities. And it was just really interesting to get a real grip on how it's affecting our culture and as well as my family, friends, and loved ones.
South Bronx is, by some measures, the poorest congressional district in the United States. HIV is related to poverty in very complex ways. People of color, and particularly African Americans, suffer from this inequality the most. In the community of men who have sex with men, there's an awareness of these products. There's a sense that we need these products. We may be at risk. And that's not really the case among the women that we work with in the South Bronx.
I used to live in the Bronx, but now I live in Brooklyn. And I know how important it is for me to pay attention to my health. You know, I've taken many chances with sexually transmitted diseases, and going into the study and helping, you know, you guys create something that may be able to protect women, minority women who are actually mostly at risk. I'm all for it.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions about research and about HIV, and so you know, we really try to focus and try to have, you know, engage women by, you know, just telling them that they're going to make a difference, that, you know, that what they're doing is really going to help, you know, society as a whole. You know, even though, you know, you're in the study, we always say, you know, when you're having sex, you know, use condoms, and things like that. You know, part of, you know, putting PrEP and stuff out there is kind of like a comprehensive toolbox. You know, there's a toolbox, and, you know, you can choose from, you know, different things, just because, you know, we all know that some people don't use condoms. So what other methods can we put out there to help?
Learning about the gel, like, you know, that being used as a protective barrier, you know, I thought it was like something that you have to take internally. This is something topical working its way in. That kind of, you know, impressed me.
The gel, I think I probably would use it. Once it was in, it was in. I mean, for me, that was my experience.
Exactly.
That I'm helping to bring out a product that can possibly change the world. That's something that they need to live by. I'm living by example by showing them. So that's what it's really all about for me, why I did it.
The idea, the goal is to provide options.
And motivating people to want to use it, and thinking about ways to make it something that we can all talk about.
I think one of the most important lessons we learned from the earliest years of the HIV epidemic is that we had to reach beyond the walls of the clinics and the hospitals. We had to really learn where our patients existed, what their life was all about, what their needs were, and try to meet those needs.
And we're not embedded right in the middle of an academic medical center. We're, you know, in the community on a regular street.
Without people coming into our community, that we might not be able to face it alone.
In my eyes, the future of HIV would be a community that is accepting of all the tools that we have.
There is a wonderful connection between what's done locally and what we do locally and what we do globally. I think they both inform each other. So we're a very interconnected world, and the lessons learned are flowing in both, are bidirectional.